meu nome é Tatiane, eu escrevo um blog sobre livros para jovens e eu tenho duas perguntas que é para os dois, tanto para o Jostein quanto para o John. A primeira é, aproveitando o gancho aqui da conversa, o que vocês acham da internet como meio para justamente ter uma abertura maior para os jovens escreverem, para os novos escritores, para todas essas pessoas que se interessam tanto por literatura quanto por contar histórias, filosofia, qualquer coisa que seja. E a segunda pergunta talvez seja um pouquinho, mas aproveitando que o Jostein tinha comentado, fez a pergunta para o John, no livro Maia, do Jostein, todos os personagens, tanto José quanto a Ana, quanto todos eles, falam muito sobre imortalidade. Tomar o elixir da vida para não morrer, né? Nunca mais. Eu queria saber, dos dois, se vocês fossem imortais, como vocês lidariam com ser escritor? Vocês acham que teriam muita coisa para escrever? Vocês teriam mais inspirações? O John falou que nunca mais se aposentaria, né? Que morreria no meio de um livro, talvez. E como ele lidaria com isso? Assim, ou seja, você tem a vida toda, muito tempo, mais de 1000 anos, para escrever sobre o que vocês quiserem.
Well, to the first part of the question about the internet, we live in a world now where it's very difficult to remember when the internet didn't exist, and we all use it. Most of our work is done through it in the sense of emails and all that. I like the internet. It's a drug, isn't it? If you go, I find, because I travel a lot. I was thinking about this the other day. I travel a lot, and if I get to a hotel and the internet isn't working in the hotel room, I feel like I'm going to have a meltdown, And then I met Jostein, who didn't even bring his computer with him all the way from Norway, and I thought, wow, I admire that, even though I couldn't do it myself. I think it's very interesting to be able to cut yourself off from the world of information, because I know that I'm absolutely addicted to the damn thing. But as a forum for writers, in the same way as the creative writing classes, sure, why not? I think the one thing people need to remember is that publishing things directly onto the internet is not, I don't think, the same. It doesn't have the same. It's going to lack a certain quality that comes through the editorial process. There is something about acceptance for publication, working with an editor, getting a book into the best possible position it can be in terms of rewriting, as we mentioned earlier. And that's very, very different than writing something, pressing send and printing it on the internet. It's simply not the same thing, I don't think. And to the second part of the question about immortality, I don't know, it's a tricky one. I'd say that maybe I would run out of ideas, but the world will keep changing, I will keep writing. I'd like to, I wouldn't mind getting really old. And I've written 7 books, and I had this idea at the start that I could get maybe 25 before I died. And I think I'm sort of reasonably well on track for that. I'd have to do 18 more, and I'm 39, so I die around 75, that's 1 every 2 years. So, I don't know, that's not a very good answer.
Well, two very interesting questions. Now first, information technology. I think we are living in the very middle of a Copernican revolution concerning information and very much the storage of information. It's true I don't travel with a laptop computer, but I do have this cell phone, which is what an internet terminal. I can read my email. I have all the articles I've written, all the lectures I've had, all the books I've written is on this machine. It can store 20,000 pounds, So, but then to the other question about mortality. It's true, in my novel Maya, 2 people meet each other. I would say, I have asked 1,000 people myself, if you could live for eternity, would you choose that in favor of just living a normal lifespan, All people, almost all people, say, no, I wouldn't choose immortality, that would be terrible. And in the beginning he meets a younger person, and he understands he is belonging to my little group of people, you know. So he's saying, he takes a lighter, and they say, this is a magic lighter, it places it in front of a young man. If you light it now, you will live forever. And you have only this chance, you can never regret. And the young man just takes the lighter. This is the decisive decision. Decision or decisive? Okay. And then he takes it very firmly and lights it. I will remember that. And it's interesting that you also said the same.
It would have to. The question would have to be, you know, if you're going to live forever, if you're going to live immortally, do you get to stop? Like, do I get to be where I am right now in terms of being the young, you know, fit, or am I going to be some ancient, you know, wizened?
Well, John, but I am 20 years older than you, and I completely agree. I would have to have a body with all these problems I have today. But I'm convinced, even if I have the choice when I'm 80 years old, my father is 86, and I think maybe, no, he doesn't belong to the little club. He will not live for eternity. But also in my book, Gaarder, you know, the orange girl, and the whole question is the question the father is asking his son. Father is dying. He knows that he will never be able to communicate with his son when he's grounded. He's only 4 when the father dies. But he writes him a letter about the Gaarder, and the question he needs the boy to reflect on is the question. Imagine you were at the threshold of reality, and you have to choose either to live a life, even if it would be a very short life, like my life, my father's life. You choose to live, because a lot of people, when they get this terrible diagnosis, they say, I regret that I was born. Now the boy answers, of course, that he would choose to live. So I think it's very interesting. I meet people like you very well. They wouldn't touch the light. About information technology.
From a philosophical point of view, it's interesting that we're discussing this at length, as if you actually have it within your power to give us this immortality. We're making conditions here. We're saying, yeah, we're going to take you want this, you want this, you want this. You know, we want you to live in our hotel rooms. I wouldn't mind my hair back, you know.
You know, it was also funny that all the people I talked to, they may be Catholics, Protestants, they may be Muslims, and they all answered no, they wouldn't choose to live forever. But they have this religion with a strong belief on life after this existence. Now, I'm often asked, do you believe in any individual existence after death? Now, I usually say no, but the word believe has 2 different meanings. Do I believe that Manchester United will win the football game against Liverpool? Yes, I do. Certainly, absolutely I do. But I may be wrong. You know, I don't think it's probable that I will have an existence after death. But so then there is a word between optimism and pessimism, and that is hope. I mean, I wouldn't be very amazed, I wouldn't be more baffled than I am already if I wake up at another level, looking back, you know, on this life. I'm so baffled already, I have no room for being more astonished than I am. So I have a hope, a thin, very thin hope that there is a great secret, that there is something like the British poet Coleridge said. What if you slept? And what if in your sleep you dreamed? And what if in your dream you went to heaven and there plucked a strange and beautiful flower? And what if when you awoke you had the flower in your hand? Ah, what then? That's it. Hello.
Posso tentar fazer um rápido, eu aqui. terminar, a gente ainda tem tempo de fazer uma última pergunta e depois a gente encerra. Vamos lá, Listrado.
My name is Pijama. When I read, I kind of get in touch with my humanity, in a way. And I think about books like 1984, or you wrote that I have written, and I think about Nazism and the Holocaust. And I get so afraid that this can happen again, because I think people give up thinking too easily. Do you think that books can help us to keep thinking and don't forget how humans we are in a way?
Yeah, I do. I think certainly in my travels with my book, there's always been a dichotomy between the Elie Wiesel phrase that if you weren't there, don't write about it, and the other thing which Jewish people will tell you all the time, which is that the stories from the Holocaust can never be forgotten and they must keep being recounted. And of course, if you stick by the idea that you can't write about it if you weren't there, then 50 years from now, the stories will be forgotten. So I think it is up to writers, and I think it is important that you can recreate the past in that sense and try to make the world better. I mean, you said at the start, about could these things happen again? Is this one of the ideas behind the book? Of course, we know it does happen again. We know it happens right now. I mean, we know that as adults. Whether the children know that or not is another issue. But we know it, so we have to tell them that it does.
I think that the books are very important remedies. I mean, revolutions may start, different revolutions by a book. Like the feministic revolution, it was important literature behind that, and of course the French Revolution was based on literature. And I think we need, for instance, now, as we mentioned the word ethics, we need an ecological revolution actually to save climate on Earth. So, if I believe in the strong message of literature. I think there are two different kinds of authors. One category are the authors who are writing what they love to write, to play with words, they want to tell stories, they want to write. There is another category, I would say, who are primarily writing because they want to bring forward a message. I think that what made me a writer was an experience I had when I was 11 years old. All of a sudden, I understood that I'm part of a miracle, an enigma. I got really baffled about my existence. I like to turn to my parents and teachers and I said, don't you think it's strange? Is it weird that we live? Well, not really. Do you think the world is just normal? Then I almost screamed, but certainly it is. And they said, I think you shouldn't go around, thinking too much about these things, So to become a writer was for me to have a revenge when I was able to, speak this out. Oh, too long answer again, sorry.